Welcome to Business Sense. I am Ralph Rivas. For today's episode, we have Marivic Españo, CEO and Chair of PNA Grant Thornton, one of the country's largest professional services and auditing firms. Ma'am, hello po.
Hello, Ralph. Good afternoon.
Hi, ma'am. So you've been with PNA since 1997. Now, I'm curious, out of all the career paths, out of all the corporate ladders that you could climb, why here? Why did you choose this? I also understand that you've been with government for a short while.
Yeah. Well, my career has been really quite interesting, Ralph. I myself did not imagine to be here at this point in my life. I became a CPA in 1993, but prior to that, my undergraduate degree was BS Math under a scholarship program of the DOST, which at that time was called NSDB or NSTA. So after finishing college, I taught for a few years and then decided to move to government and join the Department of Finance, specifically under the National Tax Research Office. And I was involved in tax policy research and formulation. And during that time, I had a great opportunity to work with very good people, professional people at the Department of Finance. My mentor was former Undersecretary Milwida Guevara. And I was inspired to continue on my professional growth. And therefore, while I was working in government, I decided to study accountancy at PUP under a master's program. And when I passed, that was at that point that I decided to again explore what else can I do as a professional. So it took me quite a long while before I got into the practice of accountancy as a profession. But when I joined PNA in 1997, I would say that I felt like I found a home. I fell in love with taxation, and I love dealing with clients and their issues, and therefore until now I'm still here.
Nako ma'am, parang ikaw lang po yata yung makakapagsabi na you fell in love with taxation.
Oh, totoo yan, Ralph. When I was telling my husband at that time, I felt like I won the lottery because I was able to study more of taxation, while at the same time I was working. I was being paid a salary for it. And when I sleep during those first few years in my practice, the tax code would usually be at my bedside, so that when I think of something, I could easily pick up the book and look for the answer.
Now, with your long experience here in taxation and auditing, would you consider the pandemic to be the toughest one that the industry or the economy has ever experienced? And experts actually say that the pandemic changed auditing forever. Would you agree?
Yes, because I think primarily this is the first time that we have seen this happen to us. We've gone through different economic crises in the 90s, in 2007, and so on. But always we feel that you can predict, or you can more or less anticipate how long this is going to be. So maybe 1 year and so on. Yeah, in the case of the pandemic, last year when it struck us, nobody knew kailan to matatapos. And I would say that even today, while things are improving here in the Philippines at least, you would see that in other countries, they're having their third round, fourth round of, increased cases of COVID. So the world, as we knew it, has really become so uncertain. And because of that uncertainty, people are trying to look for ways to adapt, so that they could go back, hopefully, to their usual routine. But as we know it, things would be different from here on.
Mm. Now, as your company get to see the books and financials of other companies, can you tell us some of the trends that you've seen during the pandemic? How did they adapt? What aspects did they struggle?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Okay. Well, I think in general, if you look at business, whatever the nature is, the pandemic has, you know, made us change the way we behave. No, first of all, there is that limitation on the mobility, physical mobility of people. We have the several lockdowns. Uh, I think the longest we had was about 3 months, and then slowly we're going out. But again, series of lockdowns happened. So that itself is a great game changer for all of us. No, we cannot. If you think about audit and business, we could not access documents or any other materials or information that easily before the pandemic. We have to find ways to transfer documents, share documents with our colleagues and our third party providers. Coordination among our people was also a big challenge. Prior to the pandemic, everybody was in the office. You could easily go to the next room and talk to somebody, ask for documents, ask for help, or have a discussion on issues, and decision making process was more or less faster. Because of the pandemic, coordination among employees, among clients have really been challenged. And I think we at this point recognize that it affected our processes, our people, the way our people behave, the governance, the protocols that we observe within the office, and the tools that we normally use, no, traditionally use. So clients, businesses in general, including our firm, have seen the impact of these factors, and we have adopted. No, in the audit firm, definitely we've been blessed that uh, before the pandemic, as early as 10 years ago, we've already invested in technology. So when these lockdowns were announced, we could still access the documents that we have because most of our systems are in the cloud. Our people continue to collaborate and discuss because we have, the facilities, the systems. Um, no impact on payrolls, on benefits, because everything was online. I think the opportunity to recover faster from this pandemic would depend a lot on that ability of a firm or a company to adjust to those changes. So having said that, as we work with our clients, we see that they are in different stages of this adoption. There are some who are able to clearly move or shift their businesses online because they have the existing facilities. But some businesses, some clients have decided to expedite that process. No, maybe in the past they've been thinking about it, pero inaaral pa lang. But because of the pandemic, bilang ayan na, we have to do it, and they were able to successfully do it. I would say, no. Secondly, they saw that there is this uncertainty with respect to revenues, because we don't know when businesses would be going back to normal. So there was a conscious effort, of course, to manage cash flows. Sabi nga nun dati, cash is king, no? Your obligations are coming in, revenues is not coming in as expected. So companies have decided to look at their balance sheet, their cash flow statement, and really manage this. No, in some cases, they talk to their banks, to their creditors, and requested for extensions of their lines so that they would not fall due immediately. Internally, they also focus on the expenses that they are incurring and identified what should be prioritized. So more or less in a gist, those are the activities that we saw that our clients did to cope with the pandemic.
Now, actually, some people were saying or were hoping that next year would be so much better. I mean, it will be. I mean, based on the numbers right now, hopefully talagang bumaba na yung kaso further to more manageable levels. But the impact that almost 2 years din yung ganitong di ba set up, and the estimates of the say National Economic and Development Authority that the growth trajectory would take us less, I mean, around 10 years
Yeah.
for for that recovery. So anong what are your what's your outlook on this, and what should companies do to really recover? I mean, it's gonna be a while.
Yes, definitely. Well, I've heard about the 10 years. I hope that is a very conservative estimate. I hope that, as things pick up, as the COVID cases die down and people start to move around, we can recover faster than that first estimated 10 years. Um, you know, I was out of town during the weekend, and I was amazed because I think I was traveling at 3 a.m. I saw the trucks already traveling, and there was a long line of trucks at around Quezon City area. And I was happy to see them. Kasi parang ang feeling ko, yes, bumabalik na yung negosyo. Yes, meron na uling mga gumagalaw na mga trucks, which means they're delivering goods because businesses are more optimistic at this time. So I think as a businesses in general are really waiting for the opportunity to to restart the business, to restart the economy. So as they see things improving, vaccination percentages increasing, I am optimistic that we would be able to go back. Hopefully, maybe 2 years time.
Mm. So you're quite optimistic, as everyone should, di ba? Parang yun
Yes.
naman dapat yung ano. But on another topic, I heard that PNA Grant Thornton is venturing into the IT space. Now, I haven't found much to read about it, so you're gonna have to tell me kung
Okay.
what this is all about.
Okay. Well, I guess initially in the earlier years, audit firms are really known more on compliance and uh, paying on supporting clients and paying their taxes, ensuring their books are compliant with acceptable standards and they are being submitted with the proper disclosures to that regulators are looking for. But as we see it today, businesses are dynamic. They're transforming. Our clients are transforming their businesses as well using technology. So we believe that there's an opportunity for us, given that we understand their business and their needs. There is an opportunity for us to assist them in their digital transformation. So one area that we're looking at is really discussing with the clients the processes that they may be looking into for transformation using new technologies. Another area that on the digital side that we are also developing is on the compliance side. When I say compliance, this would be in the areas, for instance, of governance. How do you make sure that the strategic initiatives are being monitored, implemented and monitored, and that the key results that the company are targeting are being achieved. So using technology, we'd like to work with the client in developing tools. Another area, for instance, that is really very important today is cybersecurity. So companies are into technology, but cybersecurity should equally be considered. So part of that would be ensuring that the company's employees, which is their major line of defense when it comes to cybersecurity, are properly trained. So we're also moving into the L&D space. Today, as you see, people are really studying virtually. So hindi na tayo yung face-to-face, no? So there is a great opportunity for us to help clients develop this on-demand, online type of training programs that their people, especially in finance and accounting, would benefit from. So, in a gist, those are the areas that we are looking at, Ralph.
Wow. So you have learning and development, you have cybersecurity, IT. Uh, I think the competitions, or you're you're the one to watch out for in this.
Well, I think technology is really driving this, and we need to understand, especially the younger generation like you, Ralph. No, we can't get you to sit in a training session for 4 hours. I mean, likely sasabihin nila sa akin, bakit kailangan nandito pa ako sa opisina when I can study this thing at home, in while watching watching my plants, for instance. So we have to adapt. We have to help our clients, help businesses find better ways, because that's, talent is a very important matter today, especially during the pandemic. No, so we have to keep in mind that there's a better way of doing things that would make our people stay.
Okay, making people stay. Now, I'm curious, you've been with the company since 1997. What made you stay ng ganun katagal? Kasi
Ako
or
din.
meron bang in between 'yun? Kasi I mean my generation, admittedly, even myself, has not medyo tumatalon-talon ng trabaho eh. Ako, my longest would be 5 years with the company. And Rappler ay over 3 years. And then in between may mga pero ikaw ba talagang stick to stick to PNA
Well,
ganito?
because I love what I do, and I think PNA is a very dynamic place, no? Sabi nga nun dati, it's a very professional firm, but we are agile and we are flexible. We welcome ideas from our people. Um, Coming from government, I think that's something that I really found very interesting. No, in government, usually you just wait and you follow what the order says, but here people are encouraged to give their ideas. That's one. No, secondly, on the client side, I love the idea of being able to help people look for solutions or look for ways to doing things better. And if you look at the goal of PNA, that's the center of it. And so yung tanong mo bakit nandito pa ako, it's basically that. I think the passion, my own personal aspirations are, you know, are the things that make PNA what it is.
Mm. Now, what's your tip to managers and young managers, middle management, or even upper management on how to retain people naman?
I was talking to somebody last time, in Germany, he said, this is no longer war for talent. This is battle for talent. And the same is true, I think, for US, UK, the major economies. One thing that we're discovering is that because of this pandemic, people are really, I guess, especially the young ones like you, have really started to think about life and what they would like to do. And maybe the idea of working in a corporate or structured environment is something that they started to challenge. So if you look at it, people are looking for purpose, looking for work, not necessarily jobs, work that would allow them to live their purpose. So I guess for young people like yourself, you have to ask and try to discover what is your purpose, what makes you happy. And regardless of the job position or the industry, that's where your path would be.
Okay, I'll take note of that definitely. But I also want to ask, next year, every optimism is there. Businesses will likely open kapag magtutuloy-tuloy pa itong pag-decline ng number of cases, and vaccination rates would hopefully continue to go up. I mean, Metro Manila's doing good, but the rest of the regions are not so good. Not so good pa. But I want to ask you, how should people navigate 2022?
Um, yung favorite word natin, cautious optimism. We should be optimistic. We should try to contribute to the confidence. Sometimes my husband was ask me, "Why do you have to go out? You're the boss. You don't really have to be in the office." I try to come to the office at least twice a week because I'd like to observe. I'd like to see what people are doing, and in the process, be able to contribute to that, to that reopening of the economy. So I try to go to buy some things from small stores, or uh, go into a restaurant, because by slowly going back to these activities, we are contributing to the recovery, no? So that's why I was saying, confidence, konting confidence, kailangan tapangan natin ng konti, kasi kung hindi, if all of us would be staying at home, kawawa naman yung mga trabaho. Restaurants would not be able to open. Yung mga opisina, okay, okay lang yung mga may-ari, pero yung mga janitors, mga waiters, they're waiting for their jobs to come back. So I think that's what I'd like to say. Lagyan natin ng confidence, but let's always be watchful what's happening outside, not only here in the Philippines but globally as well, so that we would be able to plan and hopefully anticipate what would be coming. Secondly, to the extent that you could influence certain business decisions or policy decisions in government, through your business organization. Siyempre, kung ikaw lang mag-isa as a company, you would say, ano magagawa ko? But if you're doing it through your business organization, then we would be able to come up with policies that would support this recovery.
Mm. Now, everybody's excited to go out. You go to the office now. Pero what did you learn being holed up in your home during yung talagang may lockdown? And what did you learn? And what are the things that you wish will never come back?
Siguro, one thing that I learned that was always on top of my mind during those lockdowns was um, the jobs of our people. I was always praying that, sana bumalik na yung negosyo, because we would like to keep our people. We would like to make sure that they're well provided, not only with support during the pandemic, but continue to give them, benefits, bonuses, and I realized that a lot of people, not just our employees, but also our consultants, our third-party providers, and their families are are being affected by what is happening to us. And I felt that most businesses, when I talk to their to their leaders, to their CEOs, the same concern is present in their mind. So I believe that with that kind of concern that has been showed by the private sector, um, I am confident that they would do things to make the economy better, make business
Mm.
recover as fast as they can.
What about any new hobbies during the pandemic? I heard you've been more attentive to your plants na.
Oh, wala na akong mapuntahan eh. So, before the pandemic, I would tell you, Ralph, I would be afraid to replant a plant kasi baka mapatay ko siya. But
Mm.
during those lockdowns, suddenly, pinagpuputol ko yung mga, yung mga halaman at saka I bought several pots and replanted it. And ayun, napuno na yung aking small garden. And my kids would always say when I ask them to accompany me to Quezon City Circle, where you have all those plants, Mama, wala ka ng space. Ay ko, okay lang yan. I will buy, kaya nakabili na ako ng mga plant, ano, yung mga stands because there's no more space in the ground level. So I think pumapasok yung ano yung concern, 'di ba? When you're planting kasi nandun yung nurturing, 'di ba? Yung intention mo to take care of your plants. You're happy when they look healthy. When just a personal story, when I replanted some of my cuttings, I would visit them every day. And maybe on the third day, pag maganda na yung tubo, sometimes I sing to them. I sing to them because I'm really, really so happy. So, the same way, pag yung mga tao namin, pag nakakausap ko sila, kamusta kayo? And they're good, they're healthy, we monitor their situation. Na ano din yun. So, yung plans ko, yung people ko, pare-pareho. Sila yung family ko during the pandemic.
Nako ma'am, pag napunta ako sa bahay ninyo, baka 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 magdala pa ako ng gunting and cut sa mga
Uy,
because that's
nangyari na yan
also
sa amin. Nangyari na yan sa amin, Ralph. One time I was planting inside the house, no? Tapos may nakita yung aking kasama sa bahay. Ate, pumuputol siya ng halaman doon sa kabila, oh. Tapos, hayaan mo siya. Ate, may gunting pa. Nagbaon na ng gunting. Tapos, malaki. The following day, ano na yun? Bolo na yung dala niya para hatiin.
grabe grabe ng ball.
Grabe. I
Pero
mean, siguro gano'n na talaga ang tao, no? Hayaan mo na lang sila. Everybody, if they're happy with the plants, then so be it. That's the purpose of plants.
Yeah, one of the many things that we have learned to try to stay healthy mentally during this pandemic. Ano po, ma'am. And yes, on that note, thank you so much, and looking forward to see you in person, ma'am, when lockdowns ease even further. Thank you very much, Marivic Españo, CEO and Chair of PNA Grant Thornton. And I'm Ralph Rivas. This has been another episode of Business Sense. Thanks for watching.